talk to me about this as a pragmatic. How can I communicate better? Right? We want to be on the solution side. How can I
if you're communicating with somebody that's aesthetic?
Either way, just how can I communicate better all the way around?
I think just be mindful that who you are is not how the entire world is programmed. And by the way, I think outside of aesthetic and pragmatic, like we could all take a rule, or like take a note from that rule book. Never assume that who we are is how anybody else is wired. So pay attention, ask questions, like see what the other person that you're communicating with or in a relational system, see what they need and see what you might be able to do to adjust your style to serve them better and really lead with how they can feel heard or they can get their needs met, as opposed to leading with, gosh, how can I, out of my own fear, out of my own insecurity, how can I get my need met? How can I make myself feel better? How can I get that dopamine hit to my head, so that I can just take a breath? Well, just take a breath, ask them what they need and communicate. And so I would say, know that not everyone is hired or is wired like you.
Right.
Soften the edges a little bit of the clear and direct, and know that other people might be wired for the results, might be wired for the true content that you have, but others also might be wired for the connection, might be wired for an experience.
So as an immigrant salesman, I figured out some of these things without knowing their names long before Real Strengths appeared in my life. Because I was like, man, I got to get going. I want to be successful. I could see in people's eyes when I disconnected, and I wasn't willing to have that happen. And so I learned. And so I used to say to people, I mean, imagine me as a 22-year-old real estate agent sitting in people's homes going, tell me what your biggest fear or concern is about the coming transaction. Not knowing that the fear and the concern was the aesthetic, pragmatic, the emotion and the logic, and people would tell me. Then I would also tell them, I'd ask them to explain to me, had they ever had an experience, and in that case I was in real estate, I go, have you ever had an experience with a real estate agent before? And what was good about it and what wasn't so good about it. And in that, they would tell me how they wanted to be served, but they could tell me by what they didn't want. And so sometimes when people communicate what they don't want, they're actually communicating their communication style more than anything else, or how their needs are. And someone said, well, I didn't feel heard. He rushed me. Oh, okay, good to know. Or I had another person one time who's wholly pragmatic. So, well, we had a salesperson in here before you had a brochure that was a binder, and I had to listen to 30 minutes of their life story. I just don't want that. Okay, great. And I know, great, take the binder, throw it in my briefcase. Let's get to the bottom line. Thanks for watching. If you want more tips on how to think, feel, and do better, check out these videos too. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave us a like if you enjoyed the content.